All right, what's going on, everybody? So if you haven't heard by now, there was some news out of Hollywood that I want to talk about briefly. I believe there was some significance, and I was asking and praying through it, and I felt led to discuss this. And so basically, if you haven't heard, Will Smith at the Oscars last night smacked Chris Rock after Chris Rock made a joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, regarding her baldness and saying that just like G.I. Joe, hoping to see the next movie with her in it. But of course, there was some sensitivity because Jada Pinkett Smith was not fond of that joke. And then that triggered Will Smith, despite him laughing at the time, going up there and smacking Chris Rock and then having this altercation. And so last night, basically, before it even was known across the mainstream media and before it was talked about like it was today, it was on the front page of my YouTube. And normally I don't look at or come across Hollywood type of news and drama and things like that. And so it was a long title, and for some reason I felt compelled to look at it. And before anyone told me the news, I clicked on this video and I saw the entire clip end to end, uncensored. And so that got me to think, man, is this not, big news in the Hollywood and sort of in the secular realm? And it turned out it was trending on Twitter and all that stuff. And so basically I was sitting there as I was beginning to pray and just research this for like 30 minutes. And I felt compelled to just kind of put it in the back of my mind, because in Hollywood, I've said this before, but just like any other industry, God is shaking up and he's revealing, he's exposing a lot of different things in that industry. And so something compelled me to look at this. And before I even go into any other assessment or word or analysis, I just want to say this. Just like any news that I've ever talked about, just like anything I've encouraged any of you guys to be able to research, the first thing you have to be able to look at in prayer and as you ask the Lord is this news? How do I receive this news, Lord? How is it that you want me to see it? First and foremost, is this piece of news genuine and authentic, meaning that it's not fake news, it's not doctored or staged, it's not propaganda, it's not all these different things. And so a lot of people are asking questions like, man, was it staged or was it not? We're beyond the question of, is it actually real or not? Is it some CGI thing or whatever it is, right? And so obviously a lot of eyewitness testimony, and you see it happening on live TV, but the question of was it staged or not? If you were to ask my opinion, I believe that it was very genuine. So based on the body language, the reactions, and just I was watching it a couple times and just a little bit shocked at how the guys were reacting and how the audience was reacting, the sound, and just the different takeaways and things like that. And so of course there was something, in my opinion, very genuine about this whole interaction. Now people can say that it was staged in the sense that they were trying to get more attention for the Oscars and all these different things, but I believe it was actually a genuine thing. And I believe that that Satan, because Satan is working so hard in industries that have the most impact and the most influence, especially with Hollywood. So you got government, you have big businesses, you have all these different things, but Hollywood, especially in the music industry, the movie industry, the entertainment industry, this area is one that captures the hearts and minds of the young generation, but also across all age groups and across the world. So you have all these different types of dramas, K-pop, K-dramas. You have all these different types of movies, Hollywood, even Bollywood, many places across the world. It's influencing the generation to be able to preoccupy themselves, their energy, their efforts, and it's influencing and it's indoctrinating people in some sense to certain ideologies. And so Satan is working very hard in this industry to get his foothold here. But I believe that this industry can be redeemed. Not all movies, not all these different things is satanic in nature. It was, I believe, godly and holy if it was used correctly. And I believe even in heaven, when we go to heaven, we will see movies, we will see TV shows, we will see, of course, with praise songs, right? But you see all these different things. I believe we will see that in heaven. But Satan has worked so hard over the generations to get into this industry that people have literally sold themselves to the devil. And so you hear that all the time with music artists, different people. They want to get fame and money and all these different things because Satan is giving it to them on a silver platter, but they had to sell their soul. They have to worship the devil. And so a lot of people, they may be aware of that, but to the degree that they have to do certain things, the degree to which Satan is poisoning and infiltrating all of the sex trafficking, the child, the indoctrination, the pedophilia, the movement of Disney, and all these different things to get people to think, to act, and to commit atrocities in so many different ways, crimes against humanities, right? This is embedded in Hollywood in such a way that a lot of people, they don't believe it. And so I believe we're in a time now where though Satan has gotten his root in it and he's working in individuals, he's whispering in the ears of people like Will Smith, those that don't have Christ, those that don't know God, those that don't give glory and honor to him. And even Will Smith, when he was doing his speech, had mentioned that Denzel Washington had come up and told him that you have to be very careful. You know, Satan can attack you and desires to get you at your highest points, at times for which you are doing well. And Satan has been hard at work. And it wouldn't be hard for me to believe that Satan himself is whispering and working in the midst of a lot of these, A-list celebrities, right? And so he's been hard at work trying to get people away from Christ. And what's going on now is that though there's some Christians, maybe many more than we realize, in Hollywood, among actors, among producers, among many people, he's doing much more things. He's working in the lives of Will Smith, of Chris Rock, and many different people to show that he exists, that he is the only way. You can tell when you look at Will Smith that there's a void. He's struggling. He's emotionally, mentally damaged in some way. He needs to heal. But he has all of the world in some sense, all the fame, all the money that he can ever have. He goes around, travels, he does all these different things, yet he has this gap and he has, a lack of self-control in some sense. And again, I'm not here to speak on, what the nuances of what happened. But of course, if you resort to slapping and the outbursts that he had, there's something internally, something more wrong than it is. And so right now, God, of course, he's working in the individuals and the lives of these different celebrities and these different people, and we must pray for them, right? And we want to have them make the right choices. But I believe what God is doing more at the big picture level, at the higher level, is that an industry like Hollywood, Satan has infiltrated it in such a way that it's not, it's captivating the minds and the hearts of a lot of people that are really, truly in the world. Those that really don't know Christ, those that really don't have a desire to want to know the truth, but they're just being influenced by the ways of their favorite celebrities, of all these different people. And for God to reach these people, right, he has to do things that is very digestible. So he's exposing, I've talked about at the big picture level, he's exposing the business world, the government world, the healthcare, pharmaceutical, the Christian, church, and all these different areas. He's exposing these things. But in order to expose Hollywood, in order to captivate and to really get people to question God and everything that's going on, what God has to do is he has to bring and he has to use what Satan is doing and his mischievous, whatever his tactics are. He's using that and he's working all these things, right, for good, meaning that a lot of people, even throughout today, yesterday, a lot of people are asking questions, right? Asking basic questions of morality, basic questions of ethical, and all these different issues, domestic violence, mental health issues, behavioral, what's right, what's wrong, siding with people, right? Questions of, do people get a free pass? Why is it that some people get ridiculed or prosecuted, but others don't? What's going on? What's the bigger picture? And so these issues, because it happened, naturally people are asking questions and they're able to then think through things critically, all these different things, and then attaching what their morality, their opinion, what they believe is right and wrong. And God is doing this in a way for which it's like a stepping stone. These small things have to happen such that people can be awakened to it, they can wake up to it and start questioning the bigger picture? Is it that fame and fortune and all these different things? Is it what you want, right? Are people that you respect, like Will Smith, many people may respect him, many people respect all these people. You're getting challenged, your paradigm, just like with Hillsong, with many people that are getting exposed in the religious world and in the government world, many different places. The same goes in Hollywood. It's challenging your paradigm for which you can say, man, he was my role model, but now there are some questionable things people are doing. So in some sense, it's exposing and it's bringing to light what's been hidden. But in another way, God's doing this and he's working what Satan is doing around for good to get people, the masses, millions and millions of people are paying attention and asking basic questions of, is it right? Is it wrong? And all these different domino effects that's happening. A lot of people, they may not ask about Russia, Ukraine. They may not ask about politics. They may not be looking at these different things, right? Because it's so controversial and they just want to tune it out. But for things like Will Smith and Chris Rock and many other Hollywood issues, God's using this to get people to say, man, stop being fed information. Stop being on autopilot to consume and digest and do these different things. But rather, take this situation, critically think through it, because more things are coming. More things are coming down the pipeline for which you, because you're not ready for those things, I had to give you small doses in order to get to the bigger things. If things like child pornography and child sex trafficking and all these different things, Epstein Island, all these crazy things come out, the images, the testimony, people would be so shocked, right? Supposedly adrenochrome and just the torture of kids and all these different things, right? If these things come out, it's not digestible. It has to be done in some sense with small doses. And so I believe God is using this time, not only because a lot of people are talking about Will Smith and his heart, and yeah, that's important, the heart of the individual. God is so sovereign that he's using all these different things. He knows the entire timeline of who these celebrities are. He knows everything that they've done, their actions, their thoughts, their minds. God's been trying to communicate, to present himself to these people, but yet they have rejected him. And so it's up to them. It's free will. It's all these different things. But at the same time, he's using all these different things to get other people to then question, to wake up, to then get to a position for which other things, when it gets exposed, when more evil gets shown, then they can be able to more properly take it in. They're not as shocked. They're going to be shocked, but they're going to be able to digest it a little bit better. And so this is where we're at. I believe that God, he's in a process of exposing, of redeeming, of justifying. He's doing all these different things, right? And getting people, especially the remnant, those that are in Hollywood, that have been standing for Christ, but they haven't had the voice, they haven't had the opportunity. These guys are going to then stand up. And so you're in a place now, whether you are, an influencer. I know there's some that work in Hollywood, whether you're a celebrity or not, especially just in the last couple of years, you're questioning, you're seeing people like myself and many other Christian influencers speaking up. No more are you to be silenced. No more are you sitting there watching things go by. You have to be able to ask yourself, should I step up? Should I question things? Is it right? Is it wrong? You got to have a perspective that's godly. And when you are given the opportunity, you have to stand up and speak out, right? And so for all those that are in this industry, for all those that are watching, maybe you're a new viewer and you're wondering what is God's perspective? What is a Christian's perspective on all of this? There's different layers. God's targeting the individuals. He's targeting those that are watching. He's targeting and getting people to understand, to question spiritual values, question morality and ethical things, right? A lot of people are talking about it. And it begins there, only for you to make a choice of choosing Christ, choosing righteousness, choosing all these different things. And then how do you build upon that? And as more things get exposed, how do you deal with these things? So this is where we're at, guys. A lot of things are happening at the big picture level, but also at the grassroots level. So be encouraged, guys. Keep praying, right? Keep asking these questions. But more importantly, as other things come out, you got to be ready to give it all to the Lord, to pray through it, right? Ask him for discernment, for wisdom, and how to process it. for then to then give all that glory to him. We're going to see, I believe, a turnaround in Hollywood. We're going to see the redeeming of the industry. A lot of things have tainted and really clouded this industry for such a long time. Satan's grip, his hand over this area has been really strong, but I believe it can be released, it can be let go, and a lot less of all this demonic evil can be there. And so I believe God is in the process of cleaning things out, but it's starting at the heart level. It's starting at the level with Will Smith, the action, small things, and getting people to realize that in an industry like Hollywood, it's about the individual level. It's about this demonic wrestling. People saying, selling your soul to the devil, all these different things. It starts at the heart level. And so that's why God is using this time to expose the heart. He's exposing every industry, each to their own. But for Hollywood, it starts with this wrestling of satanic influences over your choices, satanic influences over the playwright, the script, all these different stories. And then down to the individual level. Is it right? Is it wrong to smack somebody? Is it right? Is it wrong to say some jokes? Is it right? Is it wrong to react in a certain way, to have your opinion in a certain way, right? So he's working each industry to each their own. And right now with Hollywood, more than ever, it begins at the heart. And you'll see it come out to more things, the structure, the end-to-end of the industry itself, how to go about filtering, screening, and doing all these different things that have been such a fundamental part of Hollywood and of the entertainment industry. But all of this is being shaken up so that more things can be done to glorify God, to give glory to him, and to change things for the better. So God bless you guys. Be encouraged. Talk to you guys very soon.